IGT, baby.
What's cracking, y'all? It's your boy Dream Mafia coming back to you with another video. So we got to talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw. And man, there's some things we're going to have to unpack on what happened on the show, especially what's going to go down next week as well. So I'm not going to waste no time, and we're going to dive right into it. So we had Solo to kick off the show, especially after what happened last week when Royce Keys got sent to the upper room by Jacob Fatu. And he pretty much let it be known that, you know, he wants to put an end to this whole bloodline thing and all that stuff, so he could just move on, you know, with his life and all that. So Jay ended up coming out. So he come out there, and this is coming off the heels of Solo again mocking him and all that, doing the Yeet dance and all those other things. So Jay got fed up, and he was saying that you were saying all this right now, but one thing's for sure, 2 days for certain, that you will be a part of this family and all. He said, you know, if it wasn't for us, if it wasn't for the tribal chief, your ass wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have a house. You wouldn't have everything that you got right now if it wasn't for us putting you in that position. So, of course, Solo gonna say, you know, you keep convincing me to join that side. Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, I love it here. Like, I love doing my own thing and not being told what to do and all that. And even told Jay, like, at one end, you was in a position where you was by yourself, and guess what? You end up winning the Royal Rumble. You end up winning the World Heavyweight Championship and being Gunther. And I forgot another thing he mentioned as well, but it escaped me. And he said you had all these accolades without the bloodline, and now look, you're right back in it too, pretty much being Roman's bitch. And was saying that I'm not trying to do that at all. Like, I was a good thing that I distanced myself from that, and this is who I wanted to be. So Jay, you know, again, let it be known, like, you know, that disrespectful thing that you're doing right now comes to a complete stop. And he said the only way that we can settle this right now is if we have a match, and it'll be me against you in the main event tonight. And if I win, you will align yourself with the bloodline, and I'm gonna bring you firsthand to Roman Reigns and all to do so. And so this your warning shot. Bow. So as he did that, Solo ducked and all, which I thought was hilarious. He's saying, like, everything all right? Like, nobody get shot? Like, I just love that comedic side of Solo, man. He been knocking out the park. And he pretty much was saying that I accept and all. So that was going to be our main event match. So good way to kick off the show. There was a backstage right after we came back for commercial break, and Jay ran into Jimmy and Jacob. So, of course, you know, Jacob was going to feel a certain way. Like, you know, what are you doing out there? You out here calling plays and stuff like that, you know, for the tribal chief. But, you know, if that wasn't your call, like, shit could have turned bad, you know? Like, what if you lose and shit like that? And Jay let him, you know, like, listen, I ain't going to lose. This was the orders from Roman Reigns himself. You know, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and win, and I'm going to do something that your ass couldn't do, and that's get Solo back into the bloodline. So, you know, Jacob was going to get pissed because of his frictions with Jay and saying that that's it that happens. But this is you he's talking about, and young punk ass better make sure you get the job done. So that continue to happens, and, you know, Jacob was highly upset with that. So, you know, best believe they're going to still have that friction even with the and his bloodline for weeks to come and stuff. You also see LA Knight making an appearance as well, mentioning I think to Adam Pearce about being in a tournament. Well, first of all, he mentioned with the bloodline thing with Solo, and, you know, he pretty much telling him, like, you need to assist me in this main event match tonight, because you saw what happened with Royce Keys last week and the work the number they did on him. So just imagine how it is when it comes to me and all that, and best believe you're going to be next. So, and then, like, respectfully, you know, it was just a one-night thing what happened at SummerSlam that we tagged in together. It was cool. We enjoyed seeing Kumbaya together, all that. But right now, my main mission right now is to get that world championship. And so like I tell him, whoa, if that's your men's right there, guess what? The Bloodline still gonna be in your way of doing so. So just come and assist me, and let's go take care of them. And like saying, um, I got my own thing to worry about and all that too. So that ended up becoming the focal point later on in the show. Then he also had mentioned to Adam Pearce about being in a tournament and shit like that, because he thinking like, okay, a tournament once again for me to face Roman Reigns and all, but not knowing that it's for it's a Triple A tournament and all, and you got to be a luchador to be in it. Man's even put out a mask, to say I would disguise myself. This means getting into the tournament and shit. So I thought that was hilarious. But Adam Pearce, telling him like, once this is done and is in the rearview mirror, best believe there's going to be another opportunity for you to go in and to challenge Roman Reigns down the line. So that ended up becoming the thing. So, I thought that was hilarious scene. I had to add that little point into it as well. So I know I'm going all over the place with this, but I'm going to try to keep it as straight as I can, as I continue on. So you see the Vision backstage, and as Austin Theory, he's talking, and he had Maxine Dupree there with him, and they're talking to Byron Saxton, and he had to go and have his match with Tozawa. The whole time, Braun Breaker is literally standing there, not saying a word, just don't even look interested in what's happening. So Baron Saxton got asked a question from Braun Breaker, and he was saying, do you think Oba is the future of WWE? And you could tell Byron looks like shook up when he said that, like, well, if Brock said he's the future, then of course he got to be the future of WWE. So I'm like, you sound just like Paul, and walked off. So you already know what was about to go down. So the Vision comes out there, and Nigga Theory music starts playing too. So you could pretty much tell the writings on the wall. It's time for Braun Breaker to distance himself there. Now I feel like this is Theory's group now. So coming out there and all, then of course Braun Breaker music hits after that. So he's standing by the announce desk. Men standing in that same spot for the whole entire matchup, did not move at all. And he wasn't even like focused at all. As much time Austin Theory was either taunting when he had momentum in the match, Braun Breaker get two flying fucks about that. So once it was done, Theory ended up winning, or they went on attack mode and shit like that. And this is when Maxine grabs the chair and pretty much try to slam the chair into Tozawa's face, the same way they did Otis, but lucky enough Adam Pearce and King get to stop all that. So meanwhile, when they had their attention on them, Braun Breaker goes into the ring, about to spear Tozawa into oblivion until Oba Femi music hits. So now the crowd's hype, and all Oba's looking towards the red area, so now business is about to pick up. So he comes out there doing the Oba strut and stuff. He gets into the ring. They start talking shit, and when like they about to throw it out and all that, that's when you had Jason Jordan get in the middle of it, the whole thing and all. So you can tell they're starting to build up to this more and more and more. And guess what? I am here for it, because now it gives Oba, another feud to be a part of and build up there, as we know where his main mission is as months to come, and that's the World Heavyweight Championship. You gotta keep him active as much as you could. So pairing him up with Braun Breaker is going to deliver. I said it last week, and I'm going to continue saying this right now. This is going to be a good one here, and I hope this is the start of Braun distancing himself from the Vision, because I think the writing's on the wall, and it's time for him to move forward right now. So I definitely like that interaction in too. And later on the show, you had Braun actually meet up with Paul Heyman, and he pretty much was saying that you saw everything gonna happen out there. Paul Heyman says, yeah, and he said, bro, Oba got into my face. He said, yeah, I see it. So he says, so let me ask you a question. Do you think Oba Femi is the future of WWE? And Paul let it be known, like, what Oba did, he got my respect. Like, he said what he said, and he backed it up. He said he was going to handle things for Brock Lesnar, and he ended up doing it, getting the job done. So as a result, I got nothing but respect and to acknowledge that. And Braun saying, you're not answering my question. Like, my question is, do you think Oba is the face of WWE's the future? And he's saying that if you're asking me, Oba's the future of WWE, then you're thinking he's the future of WWE. So you're gonna have to fix that. You got to make me a firm believer that it should be you over Oba. So what you gonna do? Which now gives Braun all what he needs to know and what he has to do. So this right here was like, you better make a statement. You better put your foot down and go out there and say that you're worthy. If this was supposed to be your spot, but overtook it, then you need to go out there and prove it otherwise and do what you need to do. So I definitely love that interaction Paul Heyman gave to Braun, because now it's going to have him look at another direction. And once again, like I said earlier, this is going to distance himself from the vision. And it just means that he decided to give his titles to Logan Paul, or in this case, they'll probably lose him. And that's when he move forward from them. One or the other is going to happen, but you kind of see where the direction they're going right now with him, and I'm glad that's happening. Right, like I'm glad it's happening because they need that breath of fresh air. You know, I feel like he's just wasting the time, still being a part of the vision. So there was that. Also, I want to talk about the segment with Stephanie Vaquette and Becky Lynch. So Stephanie comes out there, she grabs a mic, says she's had to be back on Monday Night Raw, and you know she definitely want to be back to pretty much get her get back over Liv Morgan in the Judgment Day, and you know, telling them that I'm coming back for that title and all, and say that you feel me. Like, the reason why you outside this jump me and all that stuff, because you know, when it's a one-on-one situation, I always have your number, and I'm going to get my championship back. So as she said that, Becky Lynch comes out there. So she comes out there, and she grabs the mic, and she was saying, you know, when it comes down to, you know, Stephanie, like, you know, you came up to the main roster from NXT, and you had a very good run, you know, with the title as well. Like, you was fantastic. Like, you just somebody right here who's going to be a problem in Monday Night Raw. But also brings up that when you were champion, you got hurt a lot, and we haven't seen you in quite some time. And we're saying that I don't know, like, you kind of rushed yourself to get back here. And she said, I don't know, it was a sheer fact of, you know, you rushed yourself because of, you know, you wanted to get back on Liv or anything like that, or your body was breaking down, and it was telling you to give up, but your mom was saying something differently. Like, I'm trying to paraphrase it, but, you know, she said something in the limelight of that. And I'm not gonna lie, it was crazy to hear, because Becky been cooking up these last since last week on Raw, and now this week she's been actually cooking up and saying that you know, when it comes to you wanting your revenge over Liv and all that, like, I'm here for it. Like, I'll be in the crowd area cheering you on and all that stuff, eating popcorn and all, like, all good. You know, I want that for you. But when it comes down to the championship standpoint, she said that's all me. Like, you know, I'm a championship material right there. Like, you, not so much. And letting me know, like, you leave that to me and all, because, you know, I thrive on that. And she also had mentioned this too about Liv Morgan, talking about, you know, she just like Liv holding the title, you know, like it's 2005 all over again. Which, if you don't know, now you will know. When Trish Stratus had the title around 2005, she held it for years and change, and barely defended it. I could count on my hands how many times she did, and it kind of made the same. It makes sense when you look at Liv. Like, the only title defense she had was against Io, ever since she won in that WrestleMania. So I like that little jab, you know, that she took that Liv with when it came down to that. So, you know, Stephanie got on her face of saying that, you know, I'm going to, you know, get a title. You're going to stay out my way and all that, or it's going to be problems. So it was a very good segment. I enjoyed that a whole lot. Then out of nowhere, you see Liv attacking Becky Lynch from behind, goes on attacking, and kids Liv try to fight back and hits her with a Beck exploder. And then you see Stephanie come back into the ring, and she tried to strike her, but Liv ducked out of the way, and they end up, her and Becky end up butting heads with each other and started talking and arguing and stuff. So as that happened, Liv gets out the ring, and all that stuff. And this one, Stephanie had a back turn, and she turns around and they gets to arguing again. So you can kind of tell they're gonna set something up to where they'll have a #1 contenders match. And that's gonna determine who's gonna face Liv. It probably might get turned to a triple threat because the way how both women looking right now, especially Becky and the way how she been cooking lately, you want to keep that momentum going in too. Like, I kind of like this right here. So I think it will be a triple threat match for the Women's World Championship, and we'll see what happens. But oh no, I definitely enjoyed that segment as well. Becky, I don't know, she has a she been cooking her. She ain't the same Becky that been yapping like we've been seeing when she was a heel and, you know, saying all those unnecessary things and all that stuff. So it was good to see, and I enjoyed that. And last but not least, we got to get to the main event segment, and that was Jay taking on Solo. So match starts and all that too. You know, Solo gonna be as goofy as he's gonna be, you know, in him in this match. And you know, the match was very solid. You knew the Bloodline was going to get involved, and that's when Jimmy ended up coming into the mix and the cause of distraction that led to Jay hitting the spear. And when he went for the cover, looking for the 3 count, Solo kicks out, and at that moment there, you know, he tried to also look for another spear, but Solo was able to hit him with a kick to intercept it. Solo Jay hits a super kick. So as he's trying to make a move and all that, you see you see Jimmy trying to stop Solo, but Solo turns around, hits him with a Samoan spike and get him out the equation. But because of that, and it caused a distraction, it led up to Jay hitting him with another spear, going up, hitting the Uso splash for the 1, the 2, and the 3. And now with Jay picking up the win, Solo has to align himself with the Bloodline, and Jay will be the one that's going to deliver him to Roman Reigns firsthand, you know, as well. So I was very shocked to see that. For one, I would have thought LA Knight would have had, you know, been there on the side to at least help out with taking out Jimmy and all that stuff, and probably even the playing field. But the fact that ain't happened, and Solo took the loss that he did, makes things a lot interesting. So I definitely want to see what's going to happen in regards to him. You know, is he going to really align himself with the Bloodline, or put on this act, you know, to think one thing just to, you know, isolate himself from there. So we shall see, but that was definitely crazy to find out. And also, how would Jacob feel about this too? Because many times he thought Jay would get the job done, which he ended up getting it done and beating Solo clean the way he did. You know, how would his reaction be, you know, when it's all said and done? So it's a lot that's going to unfold. I can't wait. And you know Roman's going to be there next week. And where they're going to be in Buffalo. So definitely going to make it interesting. And we'll see how things turns out. But overall, this was a very good Monday Night Raw. I enjoyed it and all that. If I had to get a rating, I'll probably give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Definitely enjoyed it. Very solid. Or maybe 8. You know, because I did like the tournament match that they had with the AAA. With Penta taking on, I think, Laredo Kid. That's what it's called. So I enjoy that. So comment down below. Let me know what was your favorite part of Monday Night Raw. Did you enjoy it? What segment did you like as well? And are you looking forward to what's going to go down next week and all? So you let me know down in the comments down below. I appreciate your love and support. Roll to 300 subscribers. Continue to keep God first as the process of anything that you do in life. Your time will come. And I'm going to catch you on the next video. Peace.
Game